Nobody was speaking anything at all. Then he inquired what has happened, what all transpired. So from some people he could collect the information. You should imagine how Bharata went into a mood of disgust and utter dislike and hatred for the mother. The manner in which this wonderful Bharata, the so wonderful son, righteous son Bharata, blames his mother, ridicules her, it is something too much. I remember my Purvashrama mother having told me once that her father, who was a Sanskrit scholar and who used to read Ramayanam every day almost, he was mentioning that in the whole of Ramayana, this bharsana, this vituperation by Bharata, it seems to be rather too much. Valmiki should have been more moderate in showering so much of abuses and ridicule by the son towards the mother. So much he says. He says that, my dear mother, I have suckled from you whatever is best, but the bad I have not. It remains in your own heart. I am very sorry. What is denied to my mother is spurned by me, he said. So I am not going to sit on the throne at all. Then Vasishtha prevailed upon him, and after everything, Bharata decided that I would go to Chitrakuta myself, along with Vasishthadev and all the others, and formally and in a very humble manner, hearty manner, invite Rama to come back and adorn the throne. So the day was fixed, and with all royal arrangements, Bharata, along with all the people, including the citizenly chiefs, he started proceeding to Chitrakuta. When they went to Chitrakuta, Rama was very happy, and he started accosting him after embracing him, inquired about the welfare of the whole of Ayodhya and how he was ruling the kingdom. He said, you should be able to get the confidence of the ministers, confidence of even the people who have a different line of thinking. Always regard the unfavorable people first and then only the favorable people. In the same manner as Mukha prakshalanat purvam guda prakshalanam yatha. Before washing the face, we wash our rectum. Exactly in the same manner. Otherwise, all these people have a lot of self-respect, misplaced of course, and they will be easily affected and irritated. They will create a lot of harm. You have to call the assembly of your advisors and ministers, and take their views in public. But in private, you will have to call every one of them individually and ascertain his or her views. All these discussions took place. Everybody was very, very anxious. All people were extremely anxious. There was an air of intense suspense. How are the two brothers going to meet and exchange their hearts? What is the mission for which Bharata has come? And how is Rama, his elder brother, going to acknowledge it, receive it, and respond to it? So there was a lot of suspense, expectation and no expectation also. Finally, Bharata sat, Sri Rama also sat. The purpose, the mission for which Bharata came, he started speaking about. My dear brother, Bharata says, my respect and adorations for you. I would like you to listen to me with a lot of fondness and endearingness. This is a submission coming from a loyal heart of a brother who keeps you in his heart and who adores you like God. Listen to me well. I understand whatever has transpired in the palace of Ayodhya. But my dear brother, all of it transpired in my absence. So I have something very specifically to say in the way of a demand or a persuasion. If my mother had snatched the kingdom and the throne, for her to sit on, I have nothing to say. But she asked for the kingdom and the throne for her son to sit. I am an adult. The whole event transpired in my absence. Should not the mother have asked me before getting the throne whether I am prepared to sit on the throne and I like it? So the whole event that transpired in my absence should be considered null and void. I am not a party to it, but I am a party to execute the result or the reward of the whole episode. I am not prepared for that. So I would like you to come. You alone are the king and you continue to be the king. I am going to be your humble servant. If this is not acceptable, then what I have to say is that, assuming that I have been anointed the king and I am going to be the heir of it, if you say that, then I say, I place my kingdom and myself at your feet. Please accept both. Come back and sit on the throne. This is the way Bharata submitted his point of view. Sri Rama heard him patiently and fondly and said, my dear Bharata, you have always been dear to me. Now you have become all the more dear. I am very happy that you have said the way you have said. Very good. But mind you, you should understand, I have come to Dandakaranya only because I wanted to fulfill as a loyal son the promise made by our father. Our mothers may be different, but our father is one and the same person, and he is not upon the earth. He has already descended to the heavens. His words cannot be altered now. All of us should be focused on fulfilling what the promise of our only father was. If our father were alive, we could have told him and discussed the subject, and maybe he could have made some change. While the whole discussion is going on, Kaikeyi also was there, Kausalya was there, Sumitra also was there. All of them have come together. So this decision can never be changed at all. And I would like you to cooperate with me and assist me in implementing whatever I have said. According to the father's words and our commitment to that, I should say that for the next 14 years, the umbrella of the Ayodhya throne will have to shield you and you alone. And so far as I am concerned, it should be the canopy, the shadow of the Dandakaranya trees, he said. This can never be altered at all, however much you may argue. This stand is a solid stand, there is no alternative for it, and all of us will have to strive hard to fulfill. Then only the soul of our father will feel peace, happiness and fulfillment. When Rama was stern and he spoke in very, very clear-cut terms, Bharata had nothing to say. Then he said, the only way I can ask you to do is, I will take your sandals, place them on the throne, and as a humble and obedient servant of you, represented by the throne, I shall continue to rule Ayodhya. But mind you, I shall be impatiently waiting for the 14 years to pass. If at the end of the 14 years you don't come back, Bharata will not be alive at all. On this kind of a promise, he went back. This is what happened. Now I have something to say about it. Just imagine, when Bharata said, the kingdom does not belong to me, I don't want the throne. And Rama also said, I don't want, it doesn't belong to me. You know, for a little period, the throne of Ayodhya was hanging like a cradle, disowned by Rama and unsought by Bharata. This is the greatness of our country. Just imagine a great fortune, a fortune. And both the brothers say, I don't want, I don't want. Our country does not stand for greed and possessiveness. We stand for truthfulness, propriety, and all the sacrifice and renunciation these call for any time from anyone. Let us understand it. The discussion took place between two brothers in the remote forest of Chitrakuta. And just see, Valmiki rendered it to the leafy scripture. As a result of that, it has become the unparalleled and unassailable culture of the whole subcontinent. How many years have passed? Ramayana is said to be a creation of Treta Yuga. Treta Yuga is over. Dwapara Yuga is over. 5,000 and odd years in Kali Yuga also are over. Even now, this wonderful Ramayana, people are adoring it. They are imbibing it. They are learning it. They are committing it to memory. They don't want to change one syllable or make a letter short or long. They want exactly what Valmiki Maharshi has written. And this has become the cultural standard, value, ideal, persuasion, compulsion, and what not. This depicts before you the culture, the righteousness, the standards of righteousness our country and people always stand by and look for. any instance, event or episode transpiring in our life, either in the individual or in the household or in the society, will not have an influence around the society unless the instances is properly recorded, depicted, described and explained. This is the greatness of our country. I always say, the real worth of a human society is the eternal literature of values and ideals it is able to produce and preserve eternally. Our country has got this rich heritage. I think many of you do not understand and you are not able to value it properly. Where can you find upon this earth a parallel society which has got such a great heritage, value treasure, ideal treasure? Where from can you find it? So it is something very great. I would like you to imbibe it as much as possible and bequeath it also to your family and lineage. Rama, along with Lakshmana and Sita, after sending back Bharata and the party, left Chitrakuta. They were leaving Sudikshna's hermitage, and while they were walking, they were only walking. While they were walking, it was a leisurely moment, a leisurely period. Nobody was there. Sita was there in the middle, Rama was there in front, and Lakshmana was at the back. So Sita had ample time to discuss whatever she wanted. And I would like you to present before you a beautiful conversation that took place between Sita and Rama. Trinyeva vyasananyatra kamajani bhavadyuda mithyavakyam tu paramam tasmat gurudarabhau. Trinyeva vyasananyatra kamajani bhavandyuta mithyavakyam tu paramam tasmat gurudarabhau. My dear Lord, I would like to tell you a thought that is occurring to my mind. I feel a little concerned, not a little concerned, sufficiently concerned about what is going to follow. The manner in which you are dressed up. What is that dressing up? You have the bow and the arrow. And you are a strong, stout person with a lot of royal heredity. And the Kshatriya valor, the Kshatriya brilliance, the Kshatriya will and wish, they are shining, scintillating in you. When I look at all that, automatically, irresistibly, a lot of concern creeps into my heart. And this is what my mind murmurs. Trinyeva vyasananyatra kamajani bhavandyuta. There are three kinds of torments, three kinds of urges and persuasions which generally arise from kama, desire. Desire is the first force to grip the mind, and the desire can instill or bring about three important notes, and all the three of them are going to get people into trouble. So our mind, unless it is sufficiently checked, moderated, balanced and harmonized, it is likely to land us into a great turmoil. And three are these afflictions or torments. Mithya vakyam tu paramam tasmat gurutarabhau. One is mithya vakya, speaking untruth, speaking lie. Just imagine. I have got maybe thousands and thousands of viewers before me, but I am asking you one question. Take this simple tenet. Are you given to truthfulness? Do you speak truth? Or you also speak lies? This is the simple question I have to ask. Our Shastras say, Satyan nasti paro dharma. There is no dharma greater than being true, being truthful. So what is the importance of Satya? This Satya is what governs the universe. And the Satya has its dominance in all the creature kingdoms. Only in the human kingdom, corruption creeps in and reigns. Are we not ashamed of it? With our intelligence, with the measure of integrity that we can muster and display, so much of possibility, is it right for us, to any one of us, to be corrupt, to be untrue, to be stealthy? Think about it. So she says, Mithya vakyam tu paramam. The Supreme One is being given to untruthfulness, not being truthful. Tasmat Gurudhara Vubhau. The other two are much graver, much more severe than these two. Paradara Abhigamanam Vinavahiram Cha Raudrata. She has completed her statement. Paradara Abhigamanam. Visiting another's wife. Paradara Abhigamanam. Vinavairam Cha Raudrata. And putting up valor, putting up courage and the fighting attitude towards people who have no enmity for you. Am I clear? The first is asatya, untruthfulness. The second is eyeing others' wives. The third is, without any hatred on the part of the other party, you pick up enmity or fight and you start fighting him. The Kshatriyas are supposed to fight. Fight whom? Who are prepared to fight them? You cannot pick up fight with an innocent man. There must be sufficient reason for it. So you cannot employ or indulge in hatred where there is no cause for it. But it can happen. It can happen, especially with heroic and valorous people like you. See what she says. Mithya vakyam na te bhutam na bhavishyati raghava. Mithya vakyam. About being untruthfulness. I can say, my dear Lord, you have never spoken anything untrue in your life. I know it very well. And you are not likely to speak also. So I have no fear of untruthfulness from you. You have never been untruthful, you have always been truthful. And I am sure that you will continue to be so. I don't expect any dilution, corruption or adulteration in this. Kuto bhilashanam strinam paresham dharmanashanam tavanasti manushyendra naja bhutte kadachana. Kuto abhilashanam strinam paresham dharmanashanam tavanasti manushyendra. I am equally sure that you will not destroy the course of righteousness that you are given to by having interest or desiring other women. I never expect. See, this is a great statement. Kshatriyas are supposed to have many wives. The reason I have said in so many places, I think I must have said here also, out of all the people, the Kshatriyas alone are given the right to marry any number of women. And there is a reason for it. Marriage is a man-made institution. It is a dharmic institution. And we can alter it depending upon the times and the needs which are facing us from time to time. Normally our country had a number of fights between different kingdoms because a good king wanted to become an emperor, and he can do so only after subduing and conquering the neighboring kings. That means internecine fights were regular in India. And we had hundreds and hundreds of kingdoms. At the time of independence, we had more than 600 kingdoms in the country. So what should have been the total number far earlier? Think about it. And all these people were fighting between themselves. In the fight, only men fight and they alone die. So the number of women in the Kshatriya community will always be disproportionately more. Naturally, the men were allowed to marry. Not only that, the code for Kshatriyas is, when a woman seeks your hand, you cannot refuse it. This being the case, this failure is quite likely. But she says, Kuto bhilashanam strinam paresham dharmanashanam paresham strinam abhilashanam dharmanashanam kutaha. It can never occur in your life. I have no fear, no doubt, no suspicion, no apprehension in this matter. Tavanasti manushyendra, oh manushyendra, in your case this will never be. Naja bhutte kadachana. Never in your life has it occurred so far, and it is not going to occur also. Manasyapi tatha rama najaidat vidyade kvajid swadara niratastvam cha nityameva nrupatmaja. Manasyapi tatha rama najaidat vidyade kvajid. I can assure you, I am your wife. You have married me. I got you as a prize. You broke the bow. That was the reason why we got married. So it has got a lot of specialty about it, sanctity about it. So in the sanctified alliance that I have with you, I can clearly say, Manasyapi tatha Rama na chaidat vidyate kujid. Even in your own mind, there is no feeling of being proximate to any other woman in this world. Swadhara niradhastvam. You are always wedded to and you are given to the company and intimacy of your own wife. Nityameva nripatmaja. And this is consistently so. Every day it is so. There is no change at all. Trudiyam yadidam raudram parapranabhihimsanam nirvairam kriyade mohat tachate samupastidam. Trudiyam yadidam raudram. Mark my words. This is where Sita comes up with a warning, her apprehension. Trudiyam yadidam. The third one, namely raudram parapranabhihimsanam. Indulging in cruel killing of other animals. Those animals have no hatred for you. They don't hate you. They are not unfriendly or inimical to you. But still, you may kill them. This is what I am concerned with. Trudiyam yadidam raudram parapranabhihimsanam. And why are you killing them? Only because of the raudra. You know that heroism, valor, strength, and the feeling of pride, etc. That is the reason for it. Nirvairam kriyade mohat. In the absence of any hatred or enmity on the part of these creatures, still they are being killed. Tachate samupasthidam. I am afraid that our journey to Dandakaranya will open a new scope for this kind of an unruly indulgence in your mind. This is what she says. Do you understand the seriousness? What is the type of discussion that Sita initiates? This is how you should have your wives, you should have your consorts. Both of you should start discussing matters like this. The moment you have married, you should make your husband or wife a full partner in your life. Life partner, what does it mean? There should be no reservation, no hiding, no concealing from each other. So it should be a full sharing. And make the wife a participant in your life. Talk to her, discuss with her all your problems, all your pursuits, all your activities, whatever plus and minus are taking place in your life. And bring up. Make them intelligent, make them participant, let them discuss matters, evaluate matters, and they must be able to give you timely suggestions. They must be able to prevent you when a prevention is called for. See, when Rukmini was by the side, Krishna started fanning his old classmate Sudama. Immediately Rukmini took the handle of the fan and she started fanning. This is the type of sharing one expects from a partner or a partner is supposed to show. In the same manner, when he took one handful of flattened rice, ate it, it was still in his mouth. He extended his hand to take the second handful. Rukmini catches hold of the hand. My dear Lord, etavatalam vishwatman. This is sufficient to bless him with as much of prosperity as you want. Don't make the others poor and mendicants. This is sufficient. What is the meaning of this? This is how wedded relationships and behavior should be. Nirvairam kriyade mohat tachate samupastidam. Our visit and stay in Dandakaranya is going to open up a very serious box. A very serious, I think it is something like a Pandora box. You have promised to the Dandakaranya ascetics that you will destroy all the Rakshasas who are giving them trouble and torment. You have already promised. When I am seeing you armed with bow and arrow, at the beaming youth that you have, I have a doubt about your behavioral nobility. Will you remain noble and righteous in your behavior throughout? And what are consequences are going to follow? Any misbehavior will invite its consequence. Right behavior will have right consequences. Misbehavior will have wrong consequences.